We go now to the author of the book, Get Trump, Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, Fox News legal analyst. Greg Jarrett is with us. Greg, let me start with you, and let me start with the question of what is next, what should be next. If you're advising the Trump legal team, what would you advise them? What would the next steps be as we head into this July 11th sentencing?
Well, I think you have to look to an appeal. And, you know, higher court judges in New York, Sean, are just like Mershon. I mean, they're mini-me's. This is a liberal, politically driven club. They protect their own. So I'm not optimistic at the former president's chances to overturn the conviction, which means that Trump's only real relief is in the federal courts. But that's the proper venue anyway, because as Jonathan pointed out, most of the egregious violations by the judge, these were constitutional due process rights, for example, refusing to tell the defendant what this conspiracy crime was. We still don't know. That's a clear violation of the Sixth Amendment. And then, of course, telling the jury they can forget all about a unanimity. That is a bedrock constitutional right derived from the Sixth and Seventh Amendment. Judge Mershon made a mockery of that, as well as justice, with a multitude of reversible errors that are quite shocking, I think, to everyone. And it's not, it is the federal courts, not state courts, that they're the ones who tend to scrupulously guard our due process rights. So, you know, there may be a dual track here. You've got to go through the state system. Maybe you'll get lucky and, you know, some judges with a conscience who are schooled in the law will look at this and say, this is fundamentally wrong, we reverse. But I think in the end, it's going to be the federal courts, maybe even the Supreme Court, that corrects this incredible injustice.
Yeah, let's get your take, Professor. And what would the next steps be for you if you were talking to President Trump's attorneys?
I would do something quite radical. I would move immediately for the sentencing to occur next week, not July 11th, so that you can get the appeal going. You can't appeal until there's a sentence. If the court refused to expedite the sentencing, I would try to take the case now immediately to the New York Court of Appeals, skipping the Intermediate Court of Appeals, which is a political court, Manhattan-based, Democrats largely. I would try to go right to the Court of Appeals and ask them for a decision within 30 days in order to get to the Supreme Court before the election. There's no reason to have the sentencing delayed until July 11th. The judge knows what he's going to do today.
Professor, why would you have any confidence that Judge Mershon would expedite the sentencing? Because I have, you know, to me, I think the obvious thing to do if it was him would be to say, all right, you're released on your own recognizance pending appeal. I don't have faith he'll do that.
No, that's not the point. The point is to impose the sentence now so that there can be an appeal. If the judge refuses, as he would, take the case to the Court of Appeals and say, Your Honors, we want the sentencing to be done now so we can appeal. If the judge refuses to allow the sentencing to impose, Your Honors, let us appeal now. We're not going to appeal necessarily the sentencing now. We're going to appeal the conviction. So I would do everything to expedite this. Timing is everything.
Very dangerous times for a constitutional republic. Very dangerous. Thank you both. Greg, thank you. But it was fun being on Fox Nation with you yesterday. And Professor, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.